All right, the Sunday Roundtable ready to go. We're joined this morning by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Guys, thanks for being with us. We just heard from Amy Carnevale on why Republicans will block the supplemental budget on Beacon Hill. Rob, I'll start with you. Is it smart politics?
It is smart politics. I mean, symbolically, Republicans are making the right point. Democrats play with their food for 2 months, so they have nobody to blame but themselves. And here, let's point out that Democrats have made no reforms in terms of keeping migrants out of Massachusetts in this bill. Republicans have a strong point to make. I would urge them to carry it through to January.
Mariana, Ron Mariano was here weeks ago and said something has to be done, and it's taken a really long time.
Right, and as I said several weeks ago, now the Massachusetts legislature is in the same position the United States Senate is with Tommy Tuberville. It takes just one to hold up everything, and it's clear that Peter Durant, the new state senator flipping that seat, is more than willing to be one of them to hold this up. Just remind everybody, the budget was supposed to be done at the end of last June. The supplemental should have been done before Thanksgiving, before the holiday started, and here we are, and who knows how long this is going to last.
Is the Democratic leadership to blame for that, though?
It's a problem of their own making. We don't have to be here, and neither do they.
And what about Washington? Help from Washington? It appears as though, I mean, the White House representative was here earlier last week at a work authorization clinic, and it appears as though there's really no more federal funding coming.
Well, you don't exactly have
the governor's pleas.
Right. And I mean, Democrats aren't exactly holding press conferences every day saying Joe Biden's got to get control of the border, even though that's what Massachusetts voters want. And I think Republicans are on the right side of this issue politically.
Well, this is largely still a federal issue, and Biden could bring money. You have to help yourself first. I mean, yes, you inherited the problem. It's been put on your doorstep, but the federal government also wants to see the state acting too, even though the federal government is the one who should be dealing with it.
And the system within weeks is expected to run out of money.
Right, and that's the biggest problem of all.
But why is it so hard to get anything done? Let's broaden it beyond the migrants. I mean, Democrats control everything up on Beacon Hill. Why can't they get anything done?
Well, I did not know until I read the Globe this week that Massachusetts had the least productive legislature in the country. That on the heels of a lot of bad press this week. And you look at all of it and you say, it doesn't have to be this way. And I think if you look at the political wins, well, Amy Carnevale is certainly making the most of what little she has, right, and really playing her hand. You see politics changing, and there's this great Hemingway quote, and the sun also rises. It started gradually and happened suddenly. I'm not saying Republicans are going to win a bunch of seats, but you could see a bunch of Democrats starting to run against Democrats.
Rob?
I mean, Dems don't have control of their own caucus. They can't get along. The House can't get along with the Senate here. This is evidence of that. I mean, there's an easy solution here. Democrats could offer a concession to Republicans on, keeping migrants out of Massachusetts. But you know what would happen then? Their own party would hold it up and inform us.
Where's the governor's bully pulpit on this, though, right? Because she just was elected a year ago.
She's been asking for the funding.
Yeah, yes. So shouldn't she be able to push something through?
Listen, if they had done it back in September, they wouldn't have any problem with the Republicans holding it up. Republicans don't have the power. They handed Republicans the power.
But she's been asking for the money. She has a plan. She's doing all the right things, appointed someone to head this up, being creative about spaces and partnerships with YMCAs and Catholic charities, doing all those things, and asking for them to deliver a bill to her desk. That's your job.
All right, let's talk about Nikki Haley, a Republican presidential debate in Alabama this week. She now has the billions of dollars the Koch network has put toward her. Can she make this a race with Trump? Rob, what do you think?
Well, she can if some of these other candidates get out of the race. And I think she'll probably have a one-on-one debate with DeSantis next week. Unclear if others will qualify. That could help her. I think if DeSantis and Christie's numbers continue to be, in the basement, they should get out and clear the way for her. The only way is a one-on-one with Trump. Obviously, they don't want to do that. They like being on TV. They probably think they have a chance. But Ron DeSantis has fallen flat. If Nikki Haley makes an example of him next week, maybe she'll have a chance to beat Trump. But it's a long, long way to getting close to Trump.
What do you think, Marianne?
No.
She can't make it a race.
She can't make it. It's too late. She only looks good because everyone else is so bad. DeSantis has crashed. I don't care how much money you get. It's not going to help her win this. And by the way, even if everybody gets out, most everybody else's second choice is Donald Trump. So when you're behind in the polls 20, 30, 40 points with 50 days, or actually in the 45 days to Iowa, New
6
Hampshire
weeks
coming
and
in.
a day to Iowa.
It's not going to happen.
But there are polls that indicate his Donald Trump's ceiling is somewhere in the low 40s. So if you can coalesce the other 55 or 60%, doesn't somebody, if it's a 1-to-1 race, have a shot?
No, again, he's most people's second choice. So the polling you're looking at right now is his solid first choices. As you get to second choices, not only in the caucuses, but in the primaries, he's got diehard people. You don't even have to organize them to turn out.
Will Governor Sununu's endorsement make any difference here in New Hampshire to pressure people to get out? Let's say Ron DeSantis falls flat in Iowa, and Sununu endorses Nikki Haley. Does that mean, will that be a sign for Chris Christie and DeSantis to head for the exits?
I mean, I think you're right. It only helps on the margins. It only helps with pressuring candidates. It doesn't help with delivering votes to a Trump alternative.
I mean, Sununu couldn't deliver New Hampshire to himself for a presidential run.
All right. The Boston City Council considering a guaranteed basic income or cash payments to the city's poorest residents. It's unclear how much it would cost, where the money would come from. Mayor Michelle Wu supports the idea, but acknowledges partnerships would be needed to fund it. Cambridge and Chelsea have experimented with this idea. Marianne, do you think this could actually happen in Boston?
I do, and we've already done it during COVID, and we saw what happened. If for no other reason, giving supplemental incomes to low-income families did one huge thing. 50% of kids got out of poverty. That was worth every penny, because a kid who can have food now, a kid will do better in school. They won't get as sick. Go down all of the list and the costs that would happen if you're in a low-income family and need government programs to help you. That takes that all away. It's a great investment.
The question is the funding source,
Yep.
right?
Exactly. All those kids that you mentioned, yes, and they were helped in the short term. In the long term, with the debt that was loaded onto the country through all this COVID spending, those kids are not going to benefit. Listen, it's a socialist idea. We're not a socialist country yet, but Boston may be a socialist city if it does this.